charts. Alright, OP. OP on the daily. We are still in... Alright, let's go to the weekly. We are creating higher highs. We hope in a couple weeks to have a confirmation that this higher high should definitely be in. If we go to the daily, you can see that we are definitely on an uptrend as far as the daily goes. We have plenty of room to come back and correct into, turning, previous resistance into support. We have mostly come out of my position in OP, scaling into US Tether, and I'm looking for a pullback to load back up. We have not had one yet. 1, 2, 3. Want to see that could happen. That would get me to load back up. This would also, any of these levels would actually be pretty good. Two, three. Yep, looking for a pullback to load back up. Bank. Let's go to the weekly. So essentially here on bank, again, we are looking for a reversal pattern. So we might as well put one on the charts. Very common reversal pattern is called a head and shoulders. Essentially, this happens when you have a left shoulder, which is a lower low, and then you have a lower high, and then you have one more final low and low, which is the head, and then you have another lower high, but the next time you have a higher low, and once you break the neckline across these highs, you can look for a move up in proportion to the size of the head. So we're looking for, this goes lower. We could be looking for something like that. Breaking through this resistance would be what gets us up here. Currently, always look at bank in USD terms on DeFi. This is a pretty fun website. See, I always got to create the chart from scratch. But if we go out to the daily on the bank token, you can see that we're sitting at 0.8 of a dollar, which is pretty good. We have we are just barely holding on to this trend line. I'm guessing the we can't see a weekly here. But with today's hopefully closing in a couple hours or hour above this trend line, technically we haven't had, technically I got to do it like this. I'm going to get technical. If I'm going to get technical. Boom. So if we bring this out to these trend lines, basically we're dancing on this trend line, right? Doesn't matter. This gets like the most touches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 touches. Technically, we haven't had, no, we've had one open and close below the trend line. However, it's this doji, very, very big wick closing above, and a kind of retest as support, and today's closed above it. So we can look for more continuation to the upside on the bank token. And again, we got some very interesting points that we can bring this to. That's probably the best one. Bank price is getting squeezed. It's coming, getting sloppy. Of course, we want to see it go up. But, pretty hefty close below. Basically we just start looking for, horizontal support. One breaks, we would look for a retest of the other one. Use the closures. So let's hope it doesn't fall down. Let's hope it goes up and that we can start looking to test new highs on bank. Sold USD. On the weekly, got a little pump. We have technically, we could just be putting in a lower high. On the daily, we are ranging. We are starting to find some support on the 144. We are also getting resistance on the 169. But we will want to, not break that low. You can see they're hunting for liquidity. It'd be interesting to see where this closes today. Closing above that green line the next hour would be very, very interesting. Maybe not likely. Maybe it could. Could make it. It would take a bullish engulfing candle. To 24. Is that even possible? Well, that would be a huge candle. No. Let's see. That'd be a pretty nice sized candle, but getting up to there would be pretty cool. So we're kind of waiting to see if we're coming down, testing the biggest wave. Go back to the daily. um, one way or the other. Matic. Matic's on a rip. We have a higher low, a higher high, a higher low. We would like to see a higher high on the weekly next week. Doji candles definitely getting into resistance. We could just get compression of the price and a squeeze before moving more to the upside. Again, more sideways, more pain for traders because we just want things to go up all the time. BAL token. Not really quite sure what's going to happen with the BAL token, but we can see that we are in a range here. If we can close above this range, we can start, tapping the liquidity, that's above us, staying in this pitchfork. We are looking, for something, not gonna lie, something on this red line until we get out of it, which we could do. We could go sideways here, up and down, come out. Then we'd just be looking at other patterns. We look at ENS on the weekly, we see a much different response. Still within this pitchfork, we have a higher low. We actually have higher low, higher high. We're essentially within this range, but we are looking for targets up to this red median line. This would give us new higher highs and, get us above the 50-week moving average on ENS. Maybe put in, kind of further solidifying that the lows, temporary lows, near-term lows are in. See the same pattern on AVAX. We have been, coming up into resistance. Plenty, potentially a new higher high. Plenty of room to come back and form a higher low before moving upwards. You can, is this a head and shoulder? I don't know. But this is a reversal pattern. This is what we would be looking for. We don't have to stay in these pitchforks, but we want to see pullbacks, higher lows. Sushi swap on the weekly. Ranging, coming up into resistance. Lots of indecision. Basic attention token breaking through some of the local resistance on this correction. Looking to, either get higher highs or put in lower highs quite easily before pulling back for more accumulation. Gitcoin, we kind of have this trend line that we are, potentially breaking through over, the rest of this quarter. We do have an alert for when this crosses up. We get a close at the end of the weekly. We'll move this up to here. Ultimately, we're going to want to see a move up over this trend line, correcting off the 50, turning this trend line into support. We do see just the slightest bit of bullish divergence on the lows. Some RSI folks, we see lower lows and, you know, technically higher highs on the RSI. We are pretty overextended on the Bollinger Bands, but price is expanding. We can look for a pullback into the Bollinger Bands, and then we would be looking for continuation or confirmation of, you know, hopefully higher lows, higher highs. Pre-search, same thing, bouncing, looking for a move up into some pretty heavy resistance. We see pretty far away from the 50-week moving average, so much weaker than Gitcoin, basic attention token, AVAX. SOS, stuck in a range on the daily. Very volatile. Just kind of watching this. JBX token, pretty volatile, but in, you know, kind of playing this channel. It's been, you know, finding support in, pulling lots of liquidity from, you know, ideally we want to see a break above this golden pocket here if we want to start looking at some higher highs. Right, now we're at Dow Friends list. Again, you know, we're trying to get through these moving averages. We're in resistance. We shouldn't be surprised for a pullback. We should waiting to be patient, looking for an opportunity to accumulate a little bit on these pullbacks. You don't want to buy at resistance. Right. Atom, same thing. We are kind of just marching through. Basically, this is a big flat. So, watch and see what happens on Atom. Very tradable token. Axie, you know, already having a pullback. Higher up into the moving averages. We have a higher low established for a nice pitchfork. It's already made its move to the median line, maybe finding some support on that median line. We'll need to see some more volume come in, but we have a higher low, higher high on the 3-day. For XE dot, same thing, moving up into resistance. We want to see a higher high or a pullback to a lower high, a higher low. Friends with Benefits has not made this bounce yet. Friends with Benefits has a lot of resistance overhead and is back at testing, you know, potentially lower lows. So we have lower highs. We had a potential to change that. We'll see how it's going with FWB. Ghost also making a run, wants to create some new highs, wants to put in, we want to see further movement through these moving averages, possibly a pullback to retest this trend line, turn it into support. Kyber network. Approaching the 382. Probably closing above the 382. So we would be looking for a move, and we'll get an alert, hopefully. Crossing up for the bar close. So still some room to move up. May need a pullback before getting all the way up to these higher moving averages. Link, same thing. We got to pull back to the 382 today or this week. It could be enough to continue upwards, or we could need a little bit deeper of a retracement. Nowhere near a higher high. Maybe on the 3-day. So on the 3-day, plenty of room to pull back for a higher low. Plenty of room to bounce up to create a higher high in the short term. Sheep's pumping. Yeah. Sheep is pumping. So you can see Sheep has found some support off the, that's the 3-day. That makes sense. Boom. Breaking through the 50-week moving average. We want to see it close above here and continuation upwards. Plenty of room to pull back for a higher low. Boom. So we'll see. UOS, same as the rest. Bouncing. Will be coming up into resistance. We're looking for, the top of this and then a pullback. Let's go to the big DAOs. So we have DOT with 7.6 billion in total market cap on the increase. Still looking for, essentially this doji here could be still a lower high. Plenty of room to put in a higher low. Also, plenty of room to continue to possibly put in a new high. Same thing with Uniswap. Mana And it looks quite a bit different. We've had more sideways action from dot and Uniswap. Uniswap looking, a little bit healthier. With a 1.365 billion market cap for Mana. You know, we maybe will be printing a higher high in a couple weeks as we move back down looking for a higher low. So, we want to see this. So DOT, doing pretty much what everything else is, having a little relief rally. Boom. So we'll see. Lots of resistance overhead. Probably. Yeah, 236. More resistance. 0.5, 618, 786. We know what to expect coming up. Could just be continued to the downside for DAO. No. Uniswap moving sideways. We could be looking at a kind of flat. This could also come back down to here for a flat, but we'll go right here for now. And we're just looking for, that will tell us a lot. Mana, it's got the pump, probably find some resistance here at the 50-week moving average. BitDAO. Yeah. So that's like Where's the 0.88 in all this? 0.88. Follow that on BitDAO. This is
times. What does that come down to? Almost at 0.5. Gnosis DAO. Coming up on some resistance. So pulling back. We'll watch this, see how far back it pulls. Go to Lido. Wow, Lido. This is that's all we're gonna do on Lido. See what happened. Poor Ohm. Sure did break these trend lines, didn't it? We do see a tapering off. We see what may be like the lowest of lows. So, could be breaking this high. That might give us a higher high. We want to see a lower low put in would be nice. Or a higher low. Actually. Curve on the weekly. Looks like the flipping NASDAQ. SPY. What is this? Yeah. Very interesting. Curve just looks like a tech stock. We are at, wow, we are testing some historic support for Curve token. We have on the 5-day chart a higher high. We are looking for quite possibly a very ever so slightly higher high. Pitchfork or fibs? Let's do fibs first. Bam. There we go. And that's Kurt. Ultimately, right on the big time frames, we're just looking for lower highs.
If we're going to see some type of turnaround that persists over the next 3 to 6 months, now's the time where we would want to start seeing that correction happen. Again, correcting essentially the price action over the last year in the markets. So, hope this video was helpful. If you have any questions, if you want to see me add anything to the chart, drop it in the comments. And check out the description for some cool links. And have a good day.